Hi, welcome to Knit with Hannah. I'm Hannah. We're looking at one skein knits this week, which basically means you're going to knit an item up and only need one ball of yarn. Hi and welcome to Knit with Hannah. I'm Hannah. I'm here with Knitting Natter to help you learn to knit the easy way. We are talking about knits that you can create with only one ball of yarn this week. And do stick all the way through. I'm going to first of all talk about all the different things you could knit, and then I'm going to help you work out where you're going to find the patterns to knit those things. And I will say something else. If you're a beginner, try not to buy skeins or hanks of yarn. Try and buy balls of yarn. It's ready. It's one less step for you to then start knitting. If you buy a skein or a hank of yarn that's a twisted loop of yarn, you've got to unravel that and make it into a ball before you start knitting. A lot of knitters like that extra part of the process. It just really brings it all together. But if you're a new knitter and holding the needles and making fabric is the one element that you're really looking forward to, cut out that part of the process and buy your ball of yarn ready to use. So you may have one ball of yarn left when you're decluttering your yarn. You may have one ball of yarn just because you've knitted something and there's one ball left over. It can also be that you think, oh, I really like that yarn. Well, I like knitting with it. I'll trial it. So you pick one up from the shop and you say, if I really like this, I'll come back for more. So you want to try knitting something with it, but you're not sure what exactly you can make with one ball. So let's work that out. You have one ball of yarn. Let's talk first about the different sizes of balls. You can get 50-gram balls of yarn, and that's more usual if you're talking about thinner yarn, so that might be DK or 4-ply. Go and have a look at my Yarn 101 if you want to find out exactly what they are. Then you can have Aran and worsted yarns of 50 grams too. More expensive chunky yarns can come in 50 grams, but that's unusual. They're usually, much more usually, larger balls of yarn. So you can knit small things with just 50 grams of wool. For example, if you find some cotton or bamboo, you could knit dishcloths. One dishcloth will take one ball of yarn. That's all it is. Same with a face cloth or a small scrunchie that you would use in the shower. Also, you could use 50 grams of yarn and knit up a very thin scarf, more like a necklace, so it's a bit more of an accessory than something that's going to keep you extremely warm. 50 grams of yarn will also knit up a baby beanie, and if you know that you've got babies around you or you want to knit items up for charity, that's a perfect option. Go and knit some baby beanies with just your odd balls of yarn. You could even mix them up and knit two in double colours, so you have stripes on each one. So 100 grams of yarn, you can get that in more expensive yarns, and you're likely to get it in chunkier yarn as well. So 4-ply is the one exception. Fingering weight yarn you can get in 100-gram balls, and that's because it's made for knitting socks. Here's one ball, one skein of yarn, knit a pair of socks with it. That's the kind of thing that's expected for. But if you're getting 100 grams of chunky yarn or super chunky yarn, you can knit quite a few different things with that too. A pair of fingerless mitts will take 100 grams. A really interesting beanie, or a really nice warm cosy cowl may only take 100 grams. If you look out for the right patterns, you will find that they are out there. There are 100-gram balls of yarn. It will be quite thin, but it will keep you really warm and nice and tight and cozy. So it's more like a really tight collar around the top of your neck. That kind of thing will only take 100 grams of yarn. The other thing is, do you have much larger balls of yarn sitting and waiting and you're going, oh, but it's one skein of yarn, even though it's bigger? You can get 400-gram balls of yarn. Unusual these days, but it's still out there if you want to go and find it, or if you have it sitting in your yarn stash. So 400 grams I've used to knit a children's cardigan, a toddler's cardigan, that's it, finished, and I have some left over. I've used a 400-gram ball to make a baby blanket. Perfect, just put some stitches on the needle and start knitting. So where exactly are you going to find these patterns if you want to knit this kind of thing up? Well, one option is finding a book like this, Yarn Stash Wonders. This is full of patterns that are basically created to only use one ball of yarn. These books are out there, they're in the shops, especially at this time of year. It's an ideal Christmas present. And I love these books. It's really inspiring. It feels like a coffee table book. just go through and look at the colours and the yarns and the different patterns that have been made with just one ball of yarn, and I go, that's really inspiring. I haven't looked at this for a long time actually, but that kind of thing is great. Look, she's even come up with ideas that I haven't. There's a necklace on the front there and a little basket for her yarn. So that is one option. Try and find a book that is just full of yarn stash wonders, one-skein knits, that kind of thing. If you're the kind of knitter who will pick up a book like this and go, but I haven't got the perfect yarn, that means that I can't actually knit that thing. Or all you do is end up magazine gazing, even though it's a book, and you go, oh, I wish I could knit that. Oh, I wish I could knit that. Oh, I wish I could knit that. Well, you could knit it, but you just like looking at the pictures instead. To be honest, that's the kind of thing that I do with knitting books. They are inspiration for me, rather than, generally speaking, actually knitting something from them. If you're that kind of knitter, like me, then you want to find one pattern at a time. And you can do that through blogs. Go to your yarn shop, or indeed you can go over to a couple of your favourite Ravelry designers. The links to my Ravelry patterns, and I've shown you quite a lot of them through this video, the link to my Ravelry store is in the description here below. And it is full of patterns. One thing I love about knitting is knitting with a small amount of yarn at once. So very few of my patterns take more than 1 or 2 balls of yarn. So that's kind of the way that I love to knit, and that's the kind of pattern that I produce. Now, the other top tip I have for you, if you've been watching all the way through, you're going to get this, is some balls of yarn actually come with patterns on the ball bands. Did you know that? You may find stashed away in your little collection of yarn that there is a ball of yarn in there which has already got a pattern on it. Go and find it and read that pattern and say whether or not you want to knit it. You may think, I don't really want that myself, but someone I know, once it's knitted up, would really love it. So just spend some time knitting it up and you don't have to worry about finding a new pattern. You never know, you might find something. So I hope that's been helpful. We've talked about a lot of things you can knit with just one ball of yarn. Okay, like I said, if you want to look at any of these patterns that I've shown you today, a lot of them, pretty much all of them, are in my Ravelry store. Go and have a look, the link is in the description. This video, give me a thumbs up, click on the subscribe button and the bell, and then you'll see lots more videos from me. Fingers crossed, all going well. I will be creating more videos all the way through next year. I'm here every Tuesday, every week, with a brand new video here on Knit with Hannah. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you again soon. Bye for now. Happy pattern searching and happy knitting.